Hello, this is JC de Guzman for our daily top 5 gainers and top 5 losers analysis for August 27, 2019, Tuesday, in preparation for the next trading day on Wednesday. So today I'll talk about 10 stocks. I will give you my technical analysis together with my recommendations. And please do not forget those three reminders that I always mention in my previous videos. So I'm not going to repeat them anymore. By now, you should have memorized those reminders already. So let's jump right away to our first stock in our list. We have Now Corporation. So this one did a ceiling play today, Tuesday. So here, it now closed at 3.19, 3 pesos and 19 centavos per share today. It broke above the previous resistance at 2.88, making that line as its immediate support level. Resistance is already at 4.25. So remember, it gapped up. It gapped up. So it jumped from 2.13 to 3.19. So remember, there's still a possibility for this gap to be filled down. So if you manage to enter a new position on Now Corporation, I suggest that you keep your eyes on closely monitor. Basically, what I'm saying is you closely monitor your trailing stop loss. As soon as you see that this bullishness is not sustainable, meaning to say some signs of reversals are being spotted already, when that happens, I suggest that you reduce the percentage of risk applied in your trailing stop loss so that you can preempt your trailing stop loss. This time, I'm not going to quote what I see on RSI, historical volatility, and DMI because these things are now exaggerated because of the gap that happened in today's trading. Nonetheless, our 10 MACD combo is valid, and by the looks of this, the momentum power indicator is also bullish. Now, here's the trade and volume distribution chart for Now Corporation. The dominant range. Let me just show you the what they call on this bigger version of the chart here. The dominant range on Tuesday was between 3 to 3.19. That's why the momentum power indicator is bullish. The sentiment or the mood of the top 10 brokers on Tuesday was neutral. So they were still also a little bit conservative in terms of wanting to buy at a price higher than 3.19 or anywhere above 3 pesos per share. So they're still take a look at their buying and selling averages. You can feel here that they are a little bit conservative in terms of buying above 3.15 or higher. That's why it seems that they were already happy, being able to buy at a price at 3 pesos per share, 3.01, 3.02, 3.03, within those range. But none of these 10 brokers have a buying average higher than 3.15. Notice that. So if these deep pocketed investors are this conservative in their sentiment, based on what happened today, Tuesday, it's all the more that we, retail traders, retail investors, should be cautious as well. Okay? True market sentiment is neutral. Remember that. Now, my overall sentiment on Now Corporation is bullish, but with a little bit of not really hesitation, but I want to be risk averse as well in terms of trading Now Corporation. So if you don't have the time to monitor the price movement by the second, stay away from Now Corporation for now. If you don't have the time to monitor the price movement by the second. Okay? Now, I should suggest that you do an upward adjustment on your trailing stop loss whenever applicable as well. Now, if you have the time to monitor the price movement, then you can still hold your position and top up within the dominant range should this ascendant price continue above 3.19. Otherwise, if you see signs of weakness signs of weakness in terms of the continuity of the upward movement, then postpone the plan of entering a new position. Okay, so there you go for Now Corporation. Next, we got VUL. It closed today at 1.29. Support is at 1.03. Resistance is at 1.44. The 10 MACD combo is valid. I like this strong bullish volume here. RSI is in the neutral territory. Risk level is already extremely high. Take note of that, newbies. The upward momentum is confirmed very strong already. But take note that the three SMAs of VUL are still in a perfect bearish alignment. So it's not yet completely out of the woods. Okay? I prefer for these three simple moving averages to start to align in a perfect bullish position. VUL must break above 1.44 and preferably above 1.67 first before we can see that happening. Now here's the dominant range of VUL on Tuesday. The dominant range was between 1.3 to 1.5. This completes the bullish momentum power indicator. And the mood of the top 10 brokers, I like this. They are actually bullish today, VUL. Okay? They are bullish. So our 10 MACD combo is valid. Our momentum power indicator is bullish. The mood of the top 10 brokers is also bullish on VUL for today. So if you have a position in VUL and it's still trading above your trailing stop loss, you can top up within the dominant range. And if you are planning to enter a new position, make sure that you calculate your reward to risk ratio first. Calculate your reward to risk ratio first. Don't forget that. Unless and until you are satisfied with your triple R, don't do a test buy within the dominant range. But if you are satisfied with your triple R, go ahead and do a test buy within the dominant range that I have shown you. I am bullish on VUL. Okay, make sure that you adjust your trade setup, your trading, your overall trading plan, just in case the market decides to be a contrarian to our data-driven bullishness for any of these 10 stocks. Okay, if you have questions, don't feel free to ask a follow-up question in our private clients forum. You can request for any of these stocks latest trade and volume distribution and true market sentiment charts in our forum. Next, PXP. It closed today at 13.5. We can see here the struggle to break above 13.6. Yes, especially that RSI is already touched the classical overbought level. That's why I can say that 13.63 is a relatively tough resistance to break. So it requires a bigger volume than this. Okay, so anyhow, the 10 MACD combo is still valid. The risk level is already high for PXP, and the upward momentum is still very strong. Support is at 10.05. Resistance is at 13.63. So the dominant range for PXP was between 13.48 to 13.8. The momentum power indicator is bullish. The mood of the top 10 brokers is neutral on PXP, probably because of these difficulty in breaking above 13.63. So they're still also eavesdropping with each other, trying to see, okay, who among you would like to break the resistance by a significant amount of shares above 13.63. Yeah, they're still eavesdropping with each other. Nonetheless, my overall sentiment for PXP is still bullish. If you have a position on this particular stock, and if your trailing stop loss is still below the current price, then you can hold your position or top up within the dominant range if you like to. But if I were you, I would just hold my position and don't top up yet until they break above the resistance at 13.63. Now, if you don't have a position in PXP, I highly recommend that you would rather wait for a breakout above 13.63 or for a pullback near 10.05. At this point, you don't have a very satisfying or attractive reward to risk ratio because the last candlestick is almost touching the line of the resistance level already, meaning to say you have a thicker potential loss than your potential gain at this point. So it's better to wait for either a pullback near the support level or a breakout above the resistance so you can have an attractive reward to risk ratio. Next, ECP. It closed today at 12.32. Support is at 9.69. Okay, that previous resistance is already its immediate support now. Resistance, the new resistance is at 14.25. The 10 MACD combo is already valid. MACD crossed above the signal line today. RSI is approaching the classical overbought level. It's 9 to 10 points away from touching that level. Risk level is already extremely high, 253% historical volatility score. That's an extremely high risk stock. It's an extremely high risk stock already. And the upward momentum is nonetheless very strong. But let's see on Wednesday if this huge, tall volume bar is sustainable. Let's see. Okay, ECP, this is the dominant range on Tuesday. Dominant range was between 12 to 12.32 pesos per share. So the momentum power indicator is bullish. The mood of the top 10 brokers is neutral. So they were also not that sure about the sustainability of this ascent in price, because for me this is an unnatural ascent relative to the size of its daily volume in the past 30 trading days. So this volume of this size, this is inorganic, unnatural for me. That's why the top 10 brokers were also not that confident to continue buying at a price higher than take a look at their buying average. All of them are in the 11ish level. None of them, yeah, none of them registered a buy average above the 12 pesos per share. See how conservative they were also. Okay, so this is the one of the benefits of checking the mood of the top 10 brokers, so that you can see if if you're the only one excited to buy at a price higher than this particular level, or you also have a companion in terms of having that bullish confidence toward the stock. But in this case, I don't see the confidence among these top 10 brokers to buy ECP at a price higher than 12 pesos per share. So my overall sentiment here, I'm not really bullish on ECP. I would say I'm more of a neutral stance on ECP at this point. Now, if you managed to enter a new position on ECP yesterday, or on Monday, or maybe on, no, not Monday, but on Tuesday, I would suggest that you hold your position for now, or if you'd like to, you can already sell a few tranches until you see some signs of sustainability on the ascent in price. But at this point, I myself am not confident. So my neutral stance is in unison with the not so confident stance of the top 10 brokers on Tuesday on ECP. Now, if you're planning to enter a new position, I suggest you postpone that plan unless you see that the momentum power indicator is still bullish on Wednesday. Okay? Unless and until you see the sustainability of the bullishness of the momentum power indicator of ECP, don't enter a new position. Of course, you should be satisfied with your reward to risk ratio first. Even if the momentum power indicator is bullish, even if the 10 MACD combo is valid, if you're not happy with your reward to risk ratio, don't do a test buy. Okay, now TBGI. It closed on Tuesday at 0.38. Support is at 0.31. Resistance is at 0.41. The 10 MACD combo is already valid. RSI is in the neutral territory. It's upward sloping. Risk level is already high. The upward momentum is not yet confirmed very strong, but the positive DMI is hovering the negative DMI. Okay, now here's the thing. Here's the dominant range. The dominant range on Tuesday was between 0.36 to 0.4. This makes the momentum power indicator bullish. The true market sentiment, or the mood of the top 10 brokers, was neutral. Take a look at their buying average. The buying average, top 10 players buying average is at 0.38. 0.38. So it's, for me, this means that there's the confidence to buy the price near its closing price. It just so happened that we got a neutral true market sentiment because of what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because we got a higher selling average than their buying average by just a few points. A few points. a negligible difference. So for me, I'm still bullish on TBGI. If you have a position on TBGI and still trading above your trailing stop loss, you can top up within the dominant range. Now, if you are just planning to enter a new position at this point, take note that the last price is a lot closer already to your resistance than your support level. Meaning to say you have a thicker potential loss than your potential gain at this point. So if you're, unless you're satisfied with that, reward to risk ratio, don't enter a new position within the dominant range. Otherwise, go ahead and do a test buy within the dominant range. I am bullish on TBGI still. Okay, next we got AP, Aboitiz Power. AP closed on Tuesday at 35.2. Support is at 33.75. Support is at 33.75. Resistance is at 37 pesos per share. The 10 MACD combo is no longer valid. We got a huge towering red volume bar here, sign of a weekend upward momentum after hitting the resistance at 37 pesos per share. Risk level is still low. RSI is downward sloping in the neutral territory, and I'm seeing signs of bearishness on the DMI and ADX chart as well. So now let's take a look at a piece here. The dominant range is between 35.2 to 36.25. This makes the momentum power indicator bearish. The mood of the top 10 brokers is neutral. Neutral. So at this point, I don't suggest entering a new position. And if you happen to have a position in AP, I suggest that you adjust the percentage of risk applied in your trailing stop loss. If you attended the Evergreen Strategy in Trading and Investing the Philippine Stock Market seminar, please refer to your handouts for lesson number 6. I wrote there the formula on how you should adjust your risk percentage. Okay? So I'm no longer bullish on AP at this point because of this, especially with this huge towering red volume bar. So I am bearish on AP. Next, KPPI, the sensational KPPI. Support is at 12.32, resistance is at 16.4. So at this point, I'm already bearish on KPPI. I'm not going to mention what I see on the 10 MACD combo and the other oscillators that are relying on historical data because that's not applicable at this point. KPPI has only been in the market has been trading the market for only 5 trading days. So we need at least 30 trading days for these oscillators to be of use to me. Okay, for me to be able to use them. Now here's the dominant range for KPPI in relation to its closing price of 12.66. 12.66, where are you? It's near the intraday low. So here the dominant range is closer to the intraday low than the intraday high. So this means that the momentum power indicator is, of course, obviously bearish. The true market sentiment is also bearish for KPPI. So stay away from this stock for now. Stay away from this stock for now until you see some signs of reversals, bullish reversals to be specific. I do hope you already locked in your profits. Last week. You should have already locked in your profits last week. Okay? Next, PPG. PPG closed today at 7.10. Support remains at 6.83 as a precursor to 5.92. Resistance is at 9.04 as a precursor to 10.7. The 10 MACD combo is still valid. RSI is in the neutral territory. Risk level is extremely high. Newbies, take note, it's an extremely high risk stock already. Alright? Ignore this positive DMI hovering the negative DMI because of this pullback of the price. Okay. The tennis MACD combo is still valid, but let's take a look at the dominant range. So here, with respect to the closing price of 7.10, oh, that's closer to the intraday low. The dominant range is still closer to the intraday low than the intraday high, 7.10 to 7.5. The momentum power indicator is obviously bearish also. The true market sentiment, ironically, is bullish. Why? It seemed that there was an appetite to buy the dip at the 7.10, but in this case, since the momentum power indicator is bearish, yeah, the momentum power indicator is bearish, I suggest don't hurry. Let these deep pocketed investors buy the dips. They can afford to do so. They have billions in their pockets. For most of us retail traders, we don't even have 50% of what they have. So let's be more risk averse in our approach. Let's wait for the momentum power indicator to become bullish before we do a test buy. And of course, we should be satisfied with our reward to risk ratio. Alright, so don't top up at this point if you have PPG. Well, I do hope you already locked in your profits last week as well on PPG. Okay, don't enter a new position. I'm bearish on PPG at this point. Next, we got IDC. It closed today at 7.56. It did not manage to continue its ascent above the previous support at 7.59. Therefore, making 7.59 still as its resistance level. Support is at 5.8. Probably that's caused by the RSI that's already approaching the closer to the classical overbought level. Nonetheless, the 10 MACD combo remains valid. The risk level is already high. The upward momentum remains strong as well for IDC. So let's take a look at the dominant range for IDC with respect to the closing price of 7.56. The dominant range, oh, it's closer to the intraday low as well, 7.35 to 7.7. This makes the momentum power indicator bearish. And the true market sentiment is also neutral. There was no appetite to buy the dips of IDC on Tuesday. Do you have IDC? Is it still trading above your trailing stop loss? Hold your position. Don't top up. Don't average down, please. Don't buy the dips. That's my suggestion. Now, if you don't have IDC, I suggest that you wait for the momentum power indicator to become bullish once again. You have no problem with the 10 MACD combo because it's still valid. All you have to do is wait for the 10 SMAC for the momentum power indicator to become bullish. For the stock to maintain its position above 7.6 if possible. Unless and until you have the momentum power indicator bullish, don't do a test buy. This is what I emphasized during the Evergreen Strategy seminar. Those who attended this seminar, you know what I'm saying. You can preempt the 10 MACD combo for as long as you regard yourself as an experienced and a disciplined trader. Secondly, if the momentum power indicator is bullish. Okay, those are the two conditions that you should answer with a yes if you are to preempt the 10 MACD combo. Alright, so lastly for today's video, we got Abacor again. Abacor closed on Tuesday at 0.73, support is at 0.67, resistance is at 0.81. The 10 MACD combo has been invalid since the second week of Tuesday. RSI is almost touching the classical oversold level, but there are still no signs of reversals. Risk level remains low, no, not low, but moderate. The downward momentum is still very strong. Here, the dominant range is between 0.72 to 0.75. The momentum power indicator is bearish. The true market sentiment is neutral for Abacor. So I'm still bearish on Abacor. I hope none of you have this stock. If you are following our methods, then therefore none of you should not have Abacor at this point. If you're planning to enter a new position, snub Abacor for now. Add it into your watch list, but don't hurry. Don't do a test buy yet. There are no signs of reversals. Our 10 MACD combo is invalid, and our momentum power indicator is bearish. No signs, no buy signals for me. Okay? So you've heard my technical analysis for these 10 stocks. Again, I'd like to invite you, if you have not attended the seminar yet, you should. You should. And that's the very reason why I already give 50% discount for the 1 year subscribers when you buy your ticket for this seminar. So that you can really understand the methodologies behind the logic of our approach at Equilist Analytics. So on September 28, I'll be in Makati, Davao, October 26, November 23 in Cavite. For next year, we got Baguio, Pampanga, and Cebu. Buy your ticket as soon as possible because I can only accommodate 20 to 25 people. At the most 20 actually for me to have a focused discussion with the attendees. So buy your ticket once the while the links are still up. Well, when they're not no longer visible here, that means all seats have already been taken. Okay. If you have questions, feel free to email us if you have an inquiry about the seminar. Again, my name is JC De Guzman. Have a great day.